to my wet set series. This is the third video in my wet set series. I am going to show you how I brush out my wet set using my foam rollers and pillow rollers. If you're interested on how I set my hair, watch the second video in this series. I go through start to finish on how I set my hair. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about why and how a wet set works, or learning some tips and tricks, go ahead and start with the first video in the series where I talk about scalp and hair care, and I give you some really good tips and tricks to make sure that your wet set comes out perfectly. So I set my hair yesterday in my sponge rollers and my pillow rollers, and I allowed it to dry for about 24 hours. I have naturally curly hair, I have very thick hair and a lot of it. So it does take my hair about 24 hours to dry fully. I did sit under my bonnet dryer for a little while I was putting on my makeup today, just to make sure that it was completely dry. You absolutely need to make sure that your hair is bone dry, otherwise it's just going to, your curls are just gonna fall flat. So absolutely make sure your hair is dry before you take any of the rollers out. I generally have a kind of an idea of what my hair is going to turn out like when I brush it out, but I usually just kind of go along with it, kind of see what it wants to do, where the waves want to set. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to take my rollers out, I'm going to brush it out, and we're going to see what style it decides to do. I start by removing my rollers from the bottom up, which is the same way that I put them in. And I will remove the back and the side rollers, and I'll leave my fringe for later. But if your hair tends to tangle, you might want to just do a couple of rows at a time and then comb it out as you go along. But I just take them all out at the same time. For my first brush through, I'm going to use my detangling brush from Best Tool. You can also just use your fingers, or you can use a wide tooth comb, but you really want to get in there and separate the curls before you really start brushing and structuring everything. So I really like this brush. It really helps to separate everything without pulling on my hair too much. I like to use a little bit of hair oil just to give my hair some shine. I do have curly hair, so it does tend to be pretty dry, and the hair oil just really adds a little bit of moisture to it, cuts down on some of the frizz and flyaways. It doesn't have any holding components, but it really helps to keep everything nice and shiny and hydrated. And now I'm just going to run through with my Denman brush. This brush is really going to help me structure the curls. I'll start to brush my hair underneath and against my palm, or even against my shoulder, just to start to form those curls and those waves the way that I want them. For a little bit of pomade. This is the Scented Orange Flower from LBCC Historical. This is going to give a little bit of hold, but it also helps with shine, helps to cut down on frizz and flyaways, and I just like to kind of run it through my hair and then keep a little bit on my palms as I'm going along to structure all of my waves. I'm brushing the back, I like to use the palm of my hand, which does have a little bit of pomade still left on it, and kind of smooth down the crown as I'm brushing everything through. And this will really help to keep that crown smooth and start to form those waves that I want in the back. I'll start with my boar bristle brush, also from Denman, and I'm going to start to create the this S wave on the side. This boar bristle brush just kind of helps smooth everything together and really helps to structure those waves. Once I get the waves pretty much where I want them, I will clip them in place using duckbill clips, and then I'll just spray a little bit of hairspray and leave them in while I'm working on the rest of my hair. This just again helps to form those waves and keep them really in place. The way I roll my fringe off to the side and then use the hair net right along my hairline really helps to create this fantastic wave and dent effect. I'm going to use a little bit more pomade here on my fringe, and I really want to accentuate this wave that I've got going on in my fringe. So I'm just going to continue to kind of brush it up and back and then push it forward, and you'll see that it just kind of falls right into place, and then I can pin it back. So here I'm just going to secure kind of that back end, the tail, if you will, of my fringe using two long bobby pins that I'm going to crisscross over each other so they remain more stable. The hairspray that I use is the Kenra number 13 working hairspray. It's a medium hold hairspray that doesn't leave residue when you brush it out. So I can continue to use this hairspray through the entire week of my set, and I never get any residue or any white flakes with it at all. love the soft, bouncy curls that I get from the pillow rollers. One last finishing spritz of hairspray and my hair is all done. Okay, well that is my brush out. I think it turned out pretty well. I've been really enjoying the smaller curls and this amazing wave and dent that I'm getting using those 3/4 inch rollers instead of the 1 inch rollers. I hope this was helpful for you to see just, how everything kind of brushes out using the setting pattern or the roller set that I do. And please do go check out the other 2 videos in my series. There's a lot of great information in there if you're just starting out with wet sets and aren't really sure what to do, how to put them in, or just how they work in general. I've put a lot of information in there for you, but if you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have, and I really hope that this was helpful for you to get going on your wet set and see what kind of results that you can get. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again very soon. Bye.